Gaston is a ex-army captain. He saved the village from the Portuguese marauders about 12 years prior to this story happening. And he sort of lived off that accolade ever since. It's a little boring for most people to hear him tell these stories, which he retells every Friday night in the local pub, the local tavern, and they have to entertain him. He's a larger-than-life character, slightly, when I say slightly, I mean grotesquely self-absorbed, and thinks he's God's gift to women, to basically everything. He's just, everyone's lucky to have him. Tim, Howard, and Alan are they're genius storytellers. To be able to tell a story through music is a wonderful ability, and when it's done right, it can move you in such a way that you can make you cry, make you laugh, make you hold your breath. It triggers a lot of emotions. I come from musical theatre. That's how I began my career, and so I feel very passionate about telling a story with music and lyrics, and what these three geniuses did back in 1991 was tell a story which was very, very old and bring it to the imagination of families and young children, but appeal to the whole mass audience. You know, everyone can appreciate and enjoy the lyrics. I mean, ever since I've told people that I play Gaston, they, without any prompting, will come out with lines from the song Gaston, which is an extraordinary thing. It has left its lasting memory. These one lines, like, I use antlers in all of my decorating. The amount of times I've heard people come up with that line, and I didn't even remember that line. So it's magic. It was magic, and it still is magic, and it's left a massive impact on many generations. And luckily, we have this new retelling, which will leave a lasting memory in a new generation. As self-absorbed as he is and annoying as he is, he's quite funny in his own little way. You know, he doesn't see the world like everybody else sees it. He's at the top of the pyramid, and everybody else is below, and he can do no wrong, and he doesn't understand why Belle cannot be his wife. I mean, is she mad? Is she blind? Is she stupid? He doesn't get it, you know. And that's quite funny in itself. And so I've got to play the comedy aspect, which has been fun for me. I haven't done a lot of comedy, and it's been really fun to not only play the comedy of Gaston, but also to be able to bounce off the likes of Josh Gad, who is a very accomplished comedian and a comedy actor, and his timing is just perfect. And so I've been able to absorb that and play off that, and it's been very, very fun to have a sidekick in the film. This is my first musical film, so it was a big learning curve for me, was that everything is timed. There's music playing throughout the scene, so it doesn't matter what you do in that scene, it has to happen on the beat that you've rehearsed. So the amount of rehearsal is extraordinary before we do these big set-piece numbers, and like the Gaston number in the tavern, or like the opening Chaos Belle scene in the Villeneuve Square, you know, with all the flower markets and the bakers and the ducks and the geese and the God knows the animals and all that stuff, and all that had to be rehearsed, and we actually shot it in a rehearsal studio with the ensemble and the people in the scene, purely for Bill to be able to look at a very rough body of structure of how the scene was going to happen. So he knew the camera angles and the shots that he was going to use, so that when we got to the set, we weren't panicking because we weren't in the right place at the right time in the music, or Gaston was on the wrong side of Villeneuve Square when he needed to be here. Everything was rehearsed to absolute perfection, so that when we got to the set, it ran like clockwork. I remember coming to the studios for the first time to go through my musical songs with Michael Kozerin, and realizing that this film has been up and running. You know, they've been building the sets for weeks, probably months. The costumes were being designed. You know, there was a whole buzz around Shepperton Studios that you realize you are a very small little piece in such a big, you know, puzzle. And they had chosen the right people. Everybody has complimented everybody else, and it's such a huge film. You know, we're on one giant set right now, and I'm looking at the Garden of the Beast's lair, and it's just beautiful. And every day we've walked onto another set, which you can see the detail in which has and care and love and attention of the set designers, and it goes through every department. It was actually quite funny because it took us a while before actually Emma stopped laughing at me, because some of the lines I say are just so ridiculous and so funny that it was hard for us to actually get through the scene, even reading it around a table without her laughing at me or me laughing at myself, or laughing at her laughing at me. It was very fun, and we had a beautiful day when we shot that at Belle's house when we walked through her garden, and we added lots of little things that we thought about on the day, and it was really enjoyable. It was it's a lovely moment in the film, as much as she's telling me she's never going to be my wife. Again, he doesn't see that. He has this incredible filter which he hears, yes, I will be your wife, just not right now. And he just convinces himself constantly that he will get her, and yeah, we had a lot of fun. It was really, really enjoyable. I ruined her vegetable patch, I remember that. I trod right through all her cabbages. Well, very strangely, until the end of this film, I won't have done anything with Dan. As you know, as the film goes, Gaston only meets the beast at the end of the movie, so we have yet to shoot that scene. Dan and I see each other regularly, passing each other on set, and we talk about how fun it's going to be. Yeah, 2 weeks away, we will be on the rooftops of the castle, turrets, and doing this big battle between the two of us. So I'm looking forward to it. I know Dan has worked extremely hard on this film, creating this larger-than-life character. And it'll be nice to finally work opposite him, because it's one of the characters that Gaston only meets at the end of the film. So yes, I'm looking forward to it, very much so. I can't quite imagine what they are going to look like. I've seen some early pictures and digital images of what they plan to do, and it's it's extraordinary. I've never seen anything like it, and I've worked a lot with CGI and animated characters, and it seems to me that this will be a step further than anyone's done before, by creating these inanimate objects and making them animate, and I think we're in for a real shock, a real treat. It's going to be very exciting to see, and to see humans interacting with something that doesn't usually move is always exciting. So.
Okay, animation fans, I've got some interesting Disney movie facts. The reason Mickey Mouse was drawn with white gloves was because Walt Disney thought that normal mouse nails were much too violent for children to watch. Many cartoons and movie characters have since copied this trend. When the first Toy Story film was being written, Buzz Lightyear's original name was Lunar Larry. And Pumbaa in The Lion King was the first character to fart in a Disney movie. What's your favourite Disney animated movie? Let me know in the comments below, and keep up to date on all things animation by subscribing to our channel and clicking on the notification bell. I'll see you next time.